me. I'm confused, baby, why do you want me? Your eyes, they make me cold, it's haunting. I feel you. Would you like me if I were prettier? I can jog, I'll get my skinnier. I'll take class to be this mortified. I'll put out to get your attention. If I try, you're like, don't talk to me. I'm so miserable, cynical, emotional. You're so hard, I don't get that game to play. But you're wonderful, cynical. You're so hard, I don't get that game emotional. We could be happy, but you hate me. You tell your stories about it, hate me. Yeah, it's on. I wish it was different. And I hate sorry about it, use me till I'm gone. Would you like me if I do what you want? Tell me fast, I'll see if I get that. Hurts so bad to be the saddest one. Hurts so bad, don't want my attention. If I try, you're like, don't talk to me. I'm so miserable, cynical, emotional. You're so hard, I don't get the games you play. But you're wonderful, cynical, emotional.
And it is 6 PM UK time. Hi, Tech Dave. Haven't streamed in ages, haven't made any content in ages. If you're watching, let me know what the levels are like. Is my voice nice and audible over the music in the background? And Randy, no, there won't be any balls on stream. You can see my receding hairline as promised. It's not too bad. It's side bald because I'm rocking the mullet still. So here we go. That's all you're getting. I'm not showing my balls on stream, no way. Right, so the aim of today, we've got to put this keyboard and palm rest into my X230, modify the firmware, and we have to modify the keyboard as well. So I have done, no need to apologise. Perfectly acceptable to be funny. You're a funny guy. Yeah. So first layers of this. I'll tell you what. I'll chill a bit in chat because I need to wait for people to arrive. I can show you around the setup as well a little bit. So this is a Launchpad, Novation Launchpad, which has got all the different scenes on it, all the different scenes that I'm going to be using. So That's quite convenient. Then up above you've got a 2K webcam, and over there's my little face cam. Got just like glorious setup. And yeah, why have I been distant? Brain's been a bit brain farty for a while, but on the mend. Oh, also tonight we also have this delightful stuff, which I may be doing if I get anxious. It's there we go. McChrystal's tobacco snuff with CBD, which is nice and legal in my country. So. No, I'm alright. No, I won't be doing that. Thank you for the offer, Virulentai. I appreciate it. But yeah, so we got this CBD snuff, which is, I'd highly recommend never to use because it's really Moorish, and it's a tobacco product which, as you can see, is harmful and dangerous and addictive. But I'm just using it as an anxiety remedy at the moment because like my anxiety's been through the roof. Yeah, so I'm just going to sort of... Where do I see how many viewers we've got? 4 viewers. Hello, new viewers. Welcome to the stream. Is this lined up just right? Let's get that there. So yeah, the aim of today, basically, we need to graft in. So the X220 keyboard, and so as not to have to modify this original palm rest, which I'll show you here. So as not to have to modify that original palm rest, I got the whoa, fuckery. Pardon my swearing, I do apologise. So I don't have to modify the original palm rest, so I can revert the process, which I have done before, because what I found was happening was that... Oh, the CBD stuff, yes. I'm in the United Kingdom, Britain. Great Britain, I guess we call it. England, south of England. So, like... obviously, any THC products are illegal still in this country unless you've got medical marijuana allowance, which is actually a thing. But I can't do that because I can't smoke for various reasons to do with my mental health. But the CBD, however, very useful for anti-anxiety properties. And it was like £2.70 for that. And it, like, even with my rampant anxiety, it's lasted, like, I've gotten through the whole thing almost, but it lasted well over 2 weeks of just, and it's basically so that I don't have to eat, because long story short, disabled, high anxiety, got mental health issues, and it's cheaper, more effective, and probably equivalently harmful and addictive to diazepam, so that's why I bother with it. Because you get the nicotine rush as well then, so you get like a bang of up and then a really nice calm, and it's really useful. Helps with my anxiety and stuff. Is the chat visible on screen, I'm wondering? Should be. I need to expand that a little bit, make it a bit... There we go, now everyone can see what everyone's saying. And let's do that on the other angle as well. So you don't wonder why I'm talking to people. Yeah, so aim of today's stream. We've got multiple layers. In fact, I've got notes. Let's reference my notes. So we're going to go through it systematically, the process. Now, the issue is, I've done this before. And what happened when I did it before, which may be the end result of today, but it's kind of will show you around what I'm doing, was if those of you who are ThinkPad fans, which I assume is half my audience, if not all of them, this is the track point, otherwise aka known as the nipple mouse. These 3 buttons didn't work. Now that may be the end result of today, depending what happens, but I've been told to modify under here with some cardboard. I tried doing it before, and I'm going to give it another go. The other thing I'm going to demonstrate is how to... where's my USB stick? There's my USB stick. How to flash the firmware, and the process of flashing the firmware of the EC mod. So it's basically putting custom firmware on it to allow correct mapping of the keyboard, but I've also put a command in when I was doing that to allow for a third-party battery, which this one is not. This one's actually a legitimate battery that works with the built-in chip. Yeah, it's not bad. Yeah, ThinkPads are my thing, man. I've made probably 8 videos about the X230, and I know I've made 10 about the T430. So after the stream, if you want any more content, just go to my YouTube channel. There's so much, it's almost exclusively about ThinkPads and eGPUs, external graphics cards and stuff. I forget where I got to. What was I just saying? Yeah, so I'm going to flash the firmware, but with the battery modification as well as the EC mod for the keyboard. So currently this is flashed with the EC mod just for the keyboard, for the battery, because I've got a third-party battery, and that's in one of my old videos, which was about. Let's have a look. You might get some random overlapping audio here, but hopefully I'll mute it in time. Oh, that's wrong. What was it called? It was the Lenovo ThinkPad X230 is only PC in 2022, about 10 months ago. And then I've done another video not showing this process called, but the end results of it with the track point buttons not working, called i3 Window Manager on ThinkPad X230 with X220 Keyboard Part 1. So yeah, I want to see, maybe I should wait a little bit longer, or should I just go on with it? I'll tell you what I'll do, before I go into it, that's the first thing I wanted to do, is tell you the specs of the device. So this one here, also, if anyone's watching can tell me, am I nice and clear, my voice, over the, oh, wrong button. Is my voice nice and clear over the audio of the music? Does the music need to be louder, etc.? So if you get a minute, just remind me of whether that's the case. But the specifications of my X230, so we've got the i5, I believe it's the 33 or 3520M, dual core 4 threads at 2.6 to 3.2 gigahertz. We've got, I'll probably, yeah, I'll show you, look. So I'm gonna have to dismantle the whole thing anyway at some point. We've got HyperX. Thank you on the phone, much appreciated. I just wanted to double check to make sure it's nice and audible. I've got 16 gigs of, a bit overkill for this machine, really. It's not necessarily balanced, but it's compatible, and I usually use it in my T430. But I've been preferentially using this device, so I stuck my 2133 in here, because why not? Of HyperX. Let's have a look which is the best camera to show. HyperX Impact DDR3 2133 MHz, got 16 gigs set of that. I've also got, now I've got a 240 gig SSD with just a nice Windows 10 Pro install on it, because it came with that. In fact, let's pop that there. It's probably not visible on stream, but just in case. I've also got the wireless WAN module, so I'm just running a Vodafone data only SIM for on the go and for like streaming GeForce Now when I haven't got any signal. 240 gig SanDisk Pro, I believe, quite an expensive SSD. And actually I don't need that off, so I'll pop that back on. And what else can I tell you about it? I've got the Ultra Base 3 docking station, which is just off camera up there, right next to this camera, which is hooked up to a capture card at the moment. That's got a 500 gig WD black hard drive in it for extra storage and booting additional operating systems. And I'm currently using it for the purposes of using the display port out so that I can do capture cards. So as you'll see here, no signal at the moment. And actually, let's just adjust that while I've got a minute. No signal at the moment, but it will. It later on, depending on what people want to do and how long the stream goes on for, it will display the boot screen and the process of flashing the new firmware to the device. So, first port of call. Now I have used. Oh, let's show this. Get that in a nice central location. The first port of call is unscrew this screw. This one's missing. This screw. this screw, which is there, and this screw, which is missing. So that's the first part of the process, because we've got to get under there. I'm just going to strip it down for now, and then we're going to look at the keyboard and see about how all that pans out, because I'm not entirely sure how that's going to go. Because I have done this before, and if needs be, if it's unsuccessful, I'll just bounce off the firmware mod so I've got the keyboard and not worry about the track point, because one of the main intents with this laptop is to have i3 window manager on it with either Linux Mint or Arch, probably Linux Mint, because I understand Linux Mint better and I find it more comfortable to use. And that is keyboard based basically, so you rarely need the mouse. You rarely need the mouse at all. So that means that it's completely viable to use this device without the track point buttons, because they're relatively unnecessary except for browsing, and then you've got a trackpad. Now my solution to that, we'll go under here now because we need to get the keyboard and palm rest off. What was I just saying? Oh yeah, you can just use the trackpad as your buttons. So you have to kind of do this gesture, but it's not much beyond that. It's not quite as convenient. Like, it's annoying to me that I have that limitation, but that's what I'm hoping to address. So before we can install the new keyboard, we need to carefully put a bit of a wedge there, and then disconnect this here. And I've already run out of space to put stuff, so let's pop that down there for that off shot. And then the next thing to do is disconnect that's the trackpad button connector. Now I believe I left this disconnected last time. Oh, I missed a screw. You have to disconnect the fingerprint reader as well, I think. Where's the screw I missed? I'm not seeing it. Maybe it's just a bit stuck. Sorry about the banging. Yes, I left it disconnected. So, the other thing we need to do in the process is this little cable here and this one here need to come out and then be put in the new palm rest and trackpad. So that'll be kind of the first thing I need to do. So that's going to be fiddly, so let's just close this up and do that. Now this bit, you just carefully disconnect that, and then that just slides in on here, you see. So pretty straightforward swap. I just need to get the fingerprint reader out and then sort of disconnect that. Make sure my head's not in the way. So how is everyone? Any exciting news in the world of ThinkPads or ThinkPad enthusiasts that I don't know about? Just removing this. And then on the fingerprint reader, I don't know how visible this is, but there's just another slider similar to this one, but just a smaller one for the fingerprint reader, so we can detach that. Because the ribbon cable, because I haven't got a fingerprint reader on the new one, but the ribbon cable can just sort of sit in there and not really cause any issues. Yes, there we go, we've liberated it, and then I'm going to screw this back up so we don't lose any components, because knowing me, I'll change my mind and want to switch back. If you're watching, feel free to tell me where you are and where you're watching from, and how you came across the stream. Are you a subscriber? Are you a friend of mine on Twitter or follow on Twitter? Was it randomly suggested by YouTube? I mean, do let me know, or feel free to not let me know and not worry about it. It's absolutely fine. You are free to do whatever you so desire. So this is now going off screen. And then we reverse the process, which is as simple as finding the correct orientation for it. So that's that way. And then sliding this in here. And that means we've got a fully connected trackpad. Now arguably, I don't know what your opinion is, but the trackpad on the X230, whilst it works, kind of lackluster, right? Not like a great, like it's cool. Like if you're not a fan of the track point, it's fair enough. But like the first time, so I'll show you. It's not this exact model, but the first ThinkPad I had was. Oh, I'm tied in. Hold on. Stuck under a power lead. That's better. So the first ThinkPad I had was bought from the guy who later became the generous benefactor of this channel, who sometimes loans and purchases things on my behalf. Oh sweet, Washington State, that's awesome. What time is it there? And I'm very pleased to hear you're subscribed. Excellent. And you're working while you're watching me. Well, like an office job or work from home? Like, I'm quite curious. So yeah, this isn't the exact one I had, but the X200, sorry, was the first one I came across ever. And I've got a new version, not well, new to me, obviously it's ancient. And I do intend to Libra boot this at some point. I'm just waiting for the prices to come stabilise a bit on the hardware and just to have a bit more money available. But as you can see, no trackpad, and coming across this track point was like a game changer for me, because like a bit lame, but I like, you know, I'm a writer, amateur writer. I write short stories. I don't ever publish them, but it's just a hobby of mine. And I like really appreciate a good keyboard. In a nutshell. I've also got the Ultra Bay dock for it, which has got unremovable, because I wedged it in there, DVD drive, so that which will be coming up on the channel, I can run Windows XP with an external graphics card on the X200, so that I can run really all my old games and stuff, and it'd be quite cool. But yeah, so I've got the Ultra Base 2 for that with DVD drive. Well, you can put a hard drive in there as well. It's just an Ultra Base, so you can see all the ports there. I can't show you the dock for the other one, but I do have the dock for the X200 as well. The point being, anyway, X200 discovered the track point for the first time, and discovered also the magic of not having to move your hands from the home row whilst typing to navigate things. For me, that was a bit of a game changer. So that's nice. I'm going to discreetly sample some of my CBD powder. It's tobacco. Don't snort tobacco, people. It's not sensible. But if you're anxious and you already smoke, it can help you cut down on smoking. So whatever. And yes, you have to sniff it like it's something illicit, which it's not. So it's fine. It smells lovely as well. Like really mentally. I'm partially mature audiences. If you're under 14, I don't consent to you watching this channel anyway. It depends really, I don't mind. Don't really care, as long as I'm not going to get in trouble. So, we've done the basic modification to we've transferred over this ribbon cable. Right, and there's the fingerprint reader one just sort of hanging loose there. That should be absolutely fine. To the new palm rest. So it should at the very least have a working trackpad. Now even this trackpad, it's not huge, you only get 2 finger gestures, it's a bit lackluster. But we're going to be using Linux with i3, so track point functionality less relevant. Now, the next phase of this is the bit that I need to correct, which is why I'm bothering to do this at all. Because originally I just took it off after making a video and reverted the firmware. So this panel has to come off. First port of call. Also, I have Kronenberg. I have beer as well for if it gets really bad. But yeah, trying not to use my diazepam anymore if I can avoid it, or at least trying to reduce its consumption because it is very addictive and dangerous. So a little bit of CBD powder, never hurt anybody except all the people that it probably hurt. So we have to flip her over after removing that panel. These two screws here under the ribbon cable have to come up. Now I know for a fact it doesn't currently work, the track point buttons, as I left it. But excuse my hat. This beautiful hat also made by the guy, I'm not going to mention his name because he'd be annoyed, but made by the guy who needs a thinner bit. Made by the guy who's my generous benefactor slash sold me my first ThinkPad ever. So if you're watching, which I know you're not, shout out to you, my brother. And then we remove these screws. Let's see, I hope I haven't threaded them. They're a bit even thinner bit, I think we need. This, ladies and gentlemen, is why you need to be careful with your bits. That one's got chewed to crap. What else we got? Little thin bit. Oh no worries about the delayed response. Yeah, that's cool. Excellent. Are you a farmer or are you more of a trader? But either way, that's cool. How is crypto these days? It seems like it's had a lot of really significant hits that a lot of people seem to think were unrecoverable. So, and I don't know much about it, so feel free to inform. So right, the next phase. So we've got this little strip of metal and rubber off. And this is the bits here along here. Let me bring these a bit closer up. So this here, you need to do a tape mod, which I have just realised I don't have any tape. Oh crap, right. Non-conductive tape. Where in my life would I get non-conductive tape? I'm going to be back. In fact, you know what? I taped some. That is sick. What a convenience. Don't have to go running around. It's just tacky enough. I taped my webcam into position up there. So, miniature scissors now. Little scissors. Scissors is the next question. Now I could probably score it with a knife actually, which I'm not going to do on my ThinkPad. Don't worry, I'm not a complete monster. And then, if memory serves, you cover a certain set of pins. Now, leave that there. Just to confirm, make sure, I'm going to just Google, which you won't be able to see, which pins to tape off X220 Keyboard Mod. I'm not going to watch a video, I'm just going to the ThinkWiki. There we go. Looking for the image. I don't need to do any of the hardware modifications, I've already done that last time I did it. Which is basically you would remove some little bits here, but I don't need to do that because I've got the palm rest. So for some of them, I'll hold that in place. You clip off these bits for like the T430 or whatever. But luckily, I don't need to do that because I've got the palm rest. Then, cut the excess plastic. That's a new one. Isolate contact pins. That's what we're looking for. Due to the fact that there are newer keyboards that are backlit, there are minor electrical differences between the XX30 series and the XX20 series. That's why you need to isolate several contact pins on the keyboard's ribbon cable using electrical, scotch or masking tape. Now again, this is the thing that annoys me, because it should burn out potentially anyway, but there might be there might be some harm available there that has been reported. Now, isolate the contact pins. Now, this guide will show you which pins to isolate, right? Because I have done this before, so I'm just been linked to an imager thing here. Oh my god. Exciting news. Lenovo ThinkPad themselves have just followed me on Twitter. Round of applause. Yes, Lenovo ThinkPad have followed me. That's fucking, pardon my French, that is very, very cool. Oh my god. Congratulations me. That's awesome. Right. I'm just going to look at this, just take that randomly. So the pins that need isolating are, drum roll please, the 1, 2, 3. Ah, I was only doing 2 of them, no wonder, right. So, let's switch back. Now, I need a way to zoom the camera. Well, I'm just going to have to lift it up to show for now. So basically, it is pin 2, 3 and 4, but on the underside you need to mask off, as far as I can tell. That's what needs to be doing. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to minimise that nonsense so you can see what it's saying. I'm in half an hour in already, that's cool. Right. So, carefully removing this layer. I need a sharper edge for that. Might make you cringe seeing me touch tracers with a knife, but it's going to be done. I don't have any other colour. Carefully. There we go, lifted it up. It's a shame because I cut my nails earlier today. So what is this? We're in a bear market right now. Well, I'm happy for you that you're able to work doing that. That's awesome. Good on you. I've got a couple of friends who trade in it and stuff, and only casually. There's no one doing it professionally, sort of thing. But it's pretty cool. Happy for you. Right. Now comes the tricky part. We're going to get pins 2, 3 and 4, untuck there, untuck there. I hope you can see what I'm doing. And isolate. What is that? That's a bit too wide. Let's shorten the size of the tape a little bit. How big does it need to be? Thinner. Apparently this playlist is royalty free, so I hope that this video doesn't get shut down. I was led to believe by internet. Oh, it's 10:30 AM there. It is 6:30 in the evening, and I don't actually work. I have schizophrenia in a nutshell. So basically, my government is still good enough that they take care of disabled people, even though, despite their better protestations, they haven't been able to get away with getting rid of that. But anyway, I don't do politics, but the point is, I'm very, very fortunate. So, obviously, because I'm in a lucid phase at the moment, you can see me being perfectly rational, but I have quite a severe illness that involves hallucinations, delusions, paranoia, consequently because of hallucinations and delusions, and it prevents me from working, basically. So, I've spent in the past up to 6 months without leaving the house, and it's very difficult, but it is what it is. We all have our cross to bear, so to speak. And yeah, so 6:30 in the evening at the moment. That is not working. Sorry, I'm off camera here. What I'm doing, I'm just trying to get the tape on this. Although, you know, I don't lack intelligence. I could in theory work doing a lot of different things. My main trade was, until I got sick, professional bass player / musician, and I'm multi-instrumentalist. If you want to know any more about my schizophrenia, I've got a whole YouTube channel where I talk about it. Not very many subscribers, like 70 subscribers, but I've got like 2,000 views on one of the videos, which is about thought broadcasting, which is one of the symptoms that is the strongest thing that gives me the diagnosis of thought broadcasting. It's a bit like being telepathic, but everyone's got horrible things to say about you. But the experience is exactly like you would imagine being telepathic. It's like walking down the street hearing people's thoughts and stuff. So it's very surreal. But you know, I'm not embarrassed about it. It's just a part of who I am. Right. Yeah, I'll leave that there so you can see that I'm faffing at least. I may have to go and get some more tape. This is not staying in place. Yeah, it's interesting with the schizophrenia thing, because when people ask what you do for a living, I have to answer that, because I could say, oh, you know, I'm a YouTuber, I'm a amateur musician, part-time professional musician, but that would be a lie. I'll be back in a second with some... Oh, thank you. Yeah, yeah, exactly. It does afford me some particularly rewarding situations, which, for example, like, because I am at home a lot of the time, I got to watch my 5-year-old son grow up and just like enjoy the early years of his life without having to go off to work. So I feel incredibly blessed with that. In regards to the workstation, you should see my studio. Let's just do a little tour. So we've got my music production suite, which is an i7 3770K and a desktop with loads of cool stuff. Massive speaker system. I've got my wall of basses and guitars. Where's that showing? There, look, I've got a whole wall of instruments. I've got that back setup normally has this ThinkPad that we're working on here attached to a TV for like reading music, just chilling, watching stuff on the sofa. Now I've got a double drum kit, just here is my double drum kit, which you can probably see in the background. I've got a projector up there, and behind is a projector screen and all sorts of cool stuff. Basically, the whole living room in my house is my private studio, and I'm extremely blessed and thankful to have it. And then, oh yeah, the laptop I'm filming and broadcasting from is a Lenovo ThinkPad P51, which is also featured on the channel. I might go to the Be Right Back screen just for a second, because I need to get some... Sorry about that, folks. Right, I was doing the following. Getting some tape. I don't think this is quite the right tape, but in theory it might burn out anyway. Double better studio, thank you. Yeah, I mean, like, I used to live in a 1-bedroom flat for about 6 years when my son had a bedroom and me and my partner slept on the floor in the front room, sort of thing. but luckily I qualified for a disability benefit called personal independence payment, and then when they replaced the previous benefit I was on with that, my income went up just enough that we were fortunate enough to be able to afford this exquisite house that I feel totally undeserving of. It's massive, and we've got a huge garden, and I'm just so blessed to have this place and to have a studio, and just to have the peace and time to actually navigate my condition. Because the other thing that sucks about it, I'm just working while I'm doing this as well. The other thing that sucks about it is that my condition's long term and in theory degenerative. So whilst I stabilise and can be stable, I've got the tape here, got some tape to do the pin covering. Whilst I can stabilise, in theory I'll never really get any better, and it's degenerative in that as you get older it gets potentially worse because of brain damage. So what happens when you become psychotic as a consequence of schizophrenia or deep stresses, because you can be psychotic without being schizophrenic as well, but one of the things that happens is you damage, I forget what it's called, but you damage, right, let's switch over to here, we'll do the tape mod. You damage a portion of the brain right at the back, so like just under here, you see in the bottom right camera, and over time you end up, this tape is not working right, you end up losing mass, and it gets damaged, and then you end up basically trapped in your delusions and hallucinations permanently, and that can be called permanent psychosis. Doesn't happen to everyone, but it happens mildly, sort of consistently with schizophrenia. So that's that sort of thing. So yeah, that's just, it is what it is, and I'm grateful to be here. I'm grateful to be taken care of by my government, who I shall refrain from my opinion on how well they take care of other people, but I'm very blessed, so that's very nice. Right, I've got the tape on, as if you've been paying attention, you can see there. So now we've got to refeed this back under this little flap here. This tune's bouncy. Now this, I remember being tricky. Now, the other factor, what I remember, is that you may need a small piece of cardboard to apply pressure to this bit of plastic. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing there, but I'm trying to feed this strip here where my thumb is under another strip where all the contact points are. Let's move all this to one side. I'm going to line them up perfectly as well, so my head's got to come into shot. So. Oh, I've got a question. What ThinkPads does anyone have that's watching this? So an obvious question I should have asked really. What ThinkPad you rocking? What's your newest ThinkPad? And because I know ThinkPad users tend to have multiples of them. And what is your oldest ThinkPad? There's a question for you. And then, like a further question, like what ThinkPad would you have if money was no object? So there's 3 questions for you. Because for me, like I'm looking to get, when 2025 rolls around, my P51, which I'm broadcasting from using my 8GB RX 480 eGPU, and the built-in Quadro is managing the stream as well, which is a 4GB Quadro, so it's actually really good for OBS. And I'm looking, I have a couple of prerequisites. Right? One is obviously a CPU that's at least 8 to 16 cores that can run Windows 11. That's like a no-brainer, got to be done, because I'm a musician as well, so I need those extra cores. I think moving forward, 4 cores is going to be deeply insufficient in the future. because my current ThinkPad is 4 cores, 8 threads, and it's already showing that like the things it can do. It's a beast. It's 7th gen i7. Can't remember. I'm just focusing at the moment. There we go. Right. That took ages, but it's nice and snugly under there and all lined up, and the pins are all cordoned off. That took some time. Now, let's get this little steel plate lined up. You can see what I'm doing, can't you? Oh, on the farm, that's sweet, man. You don't need to say sorry for my diagnosis. It's genetic. It's who I would have always been. The thing that's fortunate is that we're in a developed, civilized society that bothers to take care of those that can't care for themselves in whatever way they can. And like, I only root, you know, I imagine like how would it have been in like, I don't know, Victorian Britain, where they like surgically altered people and still giving out standard lobotomies, and like I'm lucky to be alive in the time we're in now, is what I'm saying. I'm just grateful, to be honest. And yes, there will be many more years of ThinkPads to be modded, no doubt. My brother, sister, I don't know, I haven't identified, or do you even have a chosen gender? But yeah, like, that's sweet of you to say, and I really appreciate that. Luckily, I have a pretty casual upload schedule. Like, I'm not monetized yet, but I'm on 720 something subs. So. Oh, the T440. I'm keen on. Oh, and the X60 and the T400. So right, to answer that question, the display on my P51 it's good, but it's not an outdoor use. It's not an outdoor use screen. Let me reassure you of that. It's the 1080p version as well. So like it's gorgeous until you take it outside. And if you want to see some footage of how bad it is outside, there's a video on my channel showing when I first got it, and I do some video editing outside, and it's like, whilst it's visible, it's not great. It's not great. I would recommend the most expensive 4K one you can get for it, because you sacrifice touch input, which for me was why I chose the 1080p mod. But what it lacks. Am I putting these screws in the right way around? I don't think I am. That's the problem. Oh, I know why it's not working. Right. Back plate. There should be a back plate there to screw into, which is why it's not working. Right. No wonder. Right. Yeah, I mean, it's a gorgeous display until you take it outside. Looks good enough for my taste and my liking. I had a T400. It was given to me by a dude on Reddit of all things, and he even shipped it and everything. Like, I think I can't remember if he paid the shipping, but like he shipped it to me for free. It was fucking great. This isn't working. Patience, second patience. You see how tricky this mod is? It's not tricky as in difficult, it's just tricky as in, well, I don't have very steady hands and little fiddly stuff like this, so I never do soldering either. Like, there's loads of mods I could do if I could solder. Like, I wanted to make an X230 with the, like, just, yeah, ungodly amount of mods. There we go. I've got that lined up now, but now I'm going to go through. You can still see what I'm doing, can't you, while I'm chatting. Right. That's not lined up, which is why it's not driving. There we go, there's one. Yeah, I'm just trying to think about how I got into ThinkPad. So I got my X200 because I wanted a new laptop because my Toshiba Satellite C660D, which I got back recently, right? It's like a Core i3, second gen Core i3 or something, or first gen Core i3. I got it back with a new motherboard, an alternate device from a friend of mine. Bought it off me and he just donated it back to me when he's moving house, so that's pretty cool. So I was going to do a little blast from the past video of that. I got this upside down the whole time. Whoa, this is fiddly. And the thing that's frustrating about this, which is why I'm only doing it once, right? And then I'm just going to crack on with the firmware mod and stuff. The frustrating about it is that if the mod doesn't work, you have to do all of this again. And I'm not keen on that idea. Let's get that there. Right. So there. I'm going to get threaded if I'm not careful. Pushing them back out, as you can see. Boom. Tune. I'll just stab my finger with it slightly. I hope I got this the right way around and it's not just supposed to get okay. What else was I saying? So yeah, I'm going to do probably either a live stream again or a video with just a nostalgia trip, going back to my first laptop, showing how crap it was. And so I got it through uni and it's amazing to have it back in my possession, to be honest. Proper blast from the past. I'll show you in a minute. How's the T440? I wanted to get a T440p because I believe that the CPU is socketed and you can put in some just ridiculous CPUs to it. Like, really nice, like... Right, focus time. Ramming that closed. Screwing this in. That one's bitten, so that's good. I need to get the other side to bite. Before the thread, the head on the screw goes bare. And that's not working. Coffee break. Oh yeah, no, I've heard of Nitrocaster. Yeah. I would. Well, the only reason I haven't done it is because of that exact thing. Like, they're never in stock. The other thing I really wanted for this is, have you heard of Think Mods? They do an SSD that goes in the express card slot. So it's like an express card 54 filled with an NVMe drive that's actually bootable as well, because you can boot off the express card port. I think I've fucked these screws, pardon my French there. They're not biting. May have to... That's an interesting problem I've developed here. Maybe I've got this the wrong way around. Or I could be using the wrong screws, I don't think I am. Must have threaded the screws. That's frustrating. Just a random theory. No, they're identical screws. Okay. Well, I knew this would take a while, so it's absolutely fine. What is this here? Notification. OneDrive. Oh yeah, we're on an hour, so that's good. Making good time. I spent 4 hours on this last time. I still didn't get it to work, so we'll see how we go. If we can actually get the thing back together, I will be whooping and hollering, all good. That side's good. It's sliding off for some reason. Okay, so you recommend the T440p. I mean, that's what I was thinking, so it's a relief to have that validation. I saw, do you know, what's his name? Logan from Tech Syndicate. He does a full modifying, like a whole video dedicated to modifying the T440p. Oh shit. Yeah, I think I've threaded the screws. Because I can show you that. They're sort of going through, but not actually going through, but not biting the metal. Which renders this whole keyboard relatively useless, unless there's something I can harvest screws from. But I shall persevere until I go insane. And then luckily there is an X220 in the house that I might be able to harvest from. But that will require some bribing of the missus because it's hers. Oh, yeah, that is a good deal. 60 quid. Fucking amazing. Well, dollars. But yeah, that is a good price. Do we still have a Sir Randy sword playing in the house, or has he disappeared? Well, we messed it up, so what we're going to do, we're going to do the classic at a gig, the show must go on situation, and we're going to tape the back on and just hope that it doesn't cause any electrical issues. Let's see what happens. Sorry I'm off shot. I'll be back shortly. So that's what it's come to, is taping it in place, because evidently what must have happened is I've threaded this metal back panel, basically. All the screws themselves. So at some point I can probably can only pray that the keyboard now still works. I got this X230 that I'm working on now. Oh no, that was my last one. My last one I got for £30 on eBay, and then modified, well, upgraded and replaced all the damaged bits. Again, there's a video about that as well if you're interested. It's an hour and a half long, and then I've got like a review of the final unit as well. as like, what's it called? X230 in 2021, why should you buy it? So right, I'm not convinced that this keyboard is going to work properly now, so we might have to abandon ship, but in the interest of science and curiosity, I'm going to try it anyway. Science. Right, let's go. You can see what I'm doing? No, you can't. So I'm putting the track point connection in first with the palm rest. Now, sometimes, depending on how you do it, you have to put the palm rest in and the keyboard at the same time and sort of close them off together for this to work. But it remains to be seen. I'm praying I haven't broken the keyboard. Wish me luck, wish me luck. Right, and then you slot that in there. Slot that in. No, that's not working. Right, so let's load that there instead, and then add the palm rest over the top. That's the one. Forgotten my technique from last time. Just carefully pressing it in. And then we just got to pray that this one of the tabs, there's little tabs along here that need to be put into the right hole. There we go. Now if this fires up and the keys work, even if the track point doesn't work, we're going to move on to phase 2, which would be flashing the firmware, which we'll move over to capture cards for some of. There we go, I'm just crunching it together nice and nice. There we go. He's screwing in. And I'm going to do the screws actually in a bit of anti-superstition, because it may mean the stream's over if this doesn't work. We shall see about that. We shall see. Because look at it, I haven't modded the foam. Because I was going to mod the firmware first, right? And then I thought, well, if I do that and then the keyboard's unsalvageable, then I've just wasted my time. And I've got to go through the reflashing the firmware. So this will be what it will be. Science! Yeah. Oh yeah, think mods, yeah. Yeah, I really want one. My buddy, I won't say his proper name, but his channel's called Laptop Retrospective. He clued me into the think mods, like SSD thing, via one of the posts he did on Twitter. But he's a really good lad. If you haven't come across Laptop Retrospective, he's basically like a ThinkPad historian almost, I would describe him as. He's very knowledgeable. And anything he doesn't know, he's very, very responsive and like useful for reviewing stuff. So, right. Wish me luck. Right, let's just do a quick. Wish me luck. Right, so in theory, if this even powers on, we're good to go. Button seems a bit jammed. Is the battery loose for some reason? I think I've balked it. That's great. That's great news. So it might just be that the button's jammed. Well, this is why I decided to do this on stream. Because then if anyone has any tips, is what to do now. And you can skip back and see the mistakes I made. So basically, threaded the screws on this. All I can think of, other than undoing the whole assembly, really, is just to check the keyboard connection, really. So unscrew it again. This was borderline the exact same experience I had last time, but I didn't broadcast that or do anything with it, so hopefully my chums can help me if anyone's here that knows what might have gone wrong, other than just obviously the fact that I've broken it. I seem to recall there was some thing with it where screws themselves were the issue. Let's just double check. Chuck the battery back in to make sure that's not what it was. No sign of life thus far. Right, we've got that there. That there. Ooh, there's a bit of damage there. Right, that's always really nice. Yeah, for sure. I'm going to have to go through it meticulously and just... Let me just make sure the laptop itself isn't damaged by using the old keyboard. Yeah, so it's not that kind of an issue. It's obviously a bit detached in there somewhere, like inside this panel. Or was it just that the button wasn't aligned? Because that button looks a bit loose. Let me just try it. Check a theory. For you. No sign of life. So those screws are a real kink in the work. Oh, I know what it might be. I know what it might be. I know exactly what it would be, because it shouldn't. There shouldn't be a reason for it not to work just now, unless I've covered. I think I know what it is. Wish me luck. Right. Covered too many pins. That might be what's happened. Yeah, on the back there's 4 covered. On the front, well, so the back is fine, but this side is covering too many, I think. So that could be the power pin for the keyboard, do you know what I mean? That's covered. Okay, so we've got hope there. You know what I might even do? Might just remove the tape entirely, see if it powers on without the tape. That's not a bad idea. teeth to open this. Nice. Because what I did last time, I ended up just using it without the working track point buttons. And it may be my only option here, because those screws. Well. Alright, what did I do with that then? There's a big chunk of tape from there. God, I'm in it. Right. Come back, strike harder. Right, this will just validate the keyboard isn't irreparably broken for starters, and then we can go about redoing the tape process. Just see if this works now. CPU is not doing anything, so it's something to do with that compression there. Maybe it's not. Right, okay, that's good to know. Troubleshooting, it's the way we roll around here. Now it's something to do with this alignment of these. That gives me some hope. So, these aren't quite lining up. Right, let me show you what I'm working on now at the moment. So, this way, we've got the camera inverted. These pins aren't lining up correctly. So this is the tricky bit. Just getting them to sit just right. Which they're looking pretty not like they're sitting just right. It keeps popping out of the little plastic flap. But I will persevere. I will persevere. I'm a persistent guy with stuff like this. Also, if anyone's watching has done this mod before and is based in England or somewhere where it wouldn't cost me a fortune to pay you to do it for me, I will buy just the keyboard off you, fully working, and that's a sincere offer. Let me know here and we can negotiate on Twitch if anyone is keen to do that. Because I've come across this so many times, I've tried to do this so many times, and it really infuriates me. Because I really liked the keyboard, and the only issue I had was the trackball buttons. Ah, that bit of rubber might need to be in there, that's also a factor. No, don't break that off. Tunes. Bit of rubber there missing. And get this lined back up again. I think that's lined up just right now. Yeah, when I first did this, I did. I worked on this for like 3 hours. It was not the most infuriating modification thing I've ever done. The most infuriating thing I've ever done was removing the supervisor password off this and another laptop by doing a BIOS shorting thing, and that, I cannot express to you how frustrating that was. Because it was a matter of the key to comedy, like timing, like the extent to which the timing was frustrating, and then as soon as I figured it out, it was like, oh, right. Because the only information I got was you short the pins you short the pins in just before boot, right? So that, in theory, needs, because it has to be a really precision point. Like, oh, you fucker. Alright, so that's I'm definitely getting a new keyboard for this, so that's fine. That side's not lined up quite right. I just wanted a nice keyboard. It's so unfair. No, it's cool. I ain't gonna worry. But it's nice. It's nice having company anyway. It's lovely to be on stream again. I haven't done anything with Tech Day for ages because I've been so ill and confused with my brain. So fills me with joy to be doing it again. So my last live stream was Arch Linux, and that was good. That was good fun. Still on the channel on the live tab. If you get bored after this and want to watch something. But if this doesn't work, what I'm going to do is go and beg the missus for a ThinkPad keyboard. And it's cool, you know, we'll see how we get on. So no, that one's wrong. No idea why. So I've broken that as well. Hello, anyone that's watching. What's your name? Where'd you come from? What time is it? Where you're watching? Right, so there's obviously some. It's not powering on with this keyboard. It did it! Yes! Air 5 to the Tech Dave community. It works now. Question is, do the track point buttons work? Probably not, but we can live with that for now because I have other plans how to get this keyboard to be mine fully and properly. Right, so there is some damage to it. There we go. So it requires, currently working, but it requires pressure. So let me just check something as well. No tracky pointy. Definitely damaged. It's alive, yeah, it's alive. So I just need to find a way to seal this in place properly now. But it is, in theory, we have a working X220 keyboard, no track point buttons, but I'm going to call that I wanted this done, so we got it done. Temporary partial win there. Now I just need to figure out, that needs pressure there. So in what way can I apply pressure there? I know the keyboard's not broken, that's the main thing now. So those screws can be replaced at some point, because they're what we're applying the pressure, you see. So that's what we're coming a cropper of. I shouldn't be using the ThinkPad, that might scratch it. Would I have some screws of that size? Let's have a look. Or bigger even. Nah. These are too big as well. So let's get that there. Forcibly insert screws into hole. So yeah, those screws are the issue. Ah, damn it, that is the problem, isn't it? Loving these tunes. One driven in and one not. Let's just do a little confirmatory run, see if that's helped. No, because it keeps coming apart. Cardboard, right. Let me just check. And that's squeezed together. Yeah, and then it powers on. Just needs that little bit of friction. Could this be enough? It's on top that the issue is. You made it look as easy, yeah, did I? That's quite funny. So confusing, difficult. Right. It should be a relatively straightforward thing, this as well. Do you know what I mean? Oh, I just need. Can you see? Right, sorry, I just realised I was working out the shot. Right, if I. Oh, no. If I just squeeze there. There, look. You see the ThinkPad light comes out. And if I release it, just that little tiny bit. Right, let's get that powered off. Right. I'm gonna go and ask if there's a donor. I'll be right back.
Your love was smoke and mirrors. Your love was just a game. But now I'm seeing clearer. Watch me forget your name. I bet my life upon it. I'm moving past you now. There'll be no holding me down, down, down. This could be breaking me down, down. It's just that I know better now. This could be breaking me down.
Right, I'm back. And with the power of being a ThinkPad family, we have an X220 with a potential donor keyboard. Now, the likelihood that the track point buttons won't work is pretty high. But seeing as I made you all watch this now, for all this time, what are we, nearly an hour and a half in, I am not stopping until I've got a working keyboard. So this can potentially be fixed. I just need to identify which screws those screws are. But we botched that. So it means we may end up with a working X220 keyboard, which is good. And this one's not missing. You know, I don't know whether any of you noticed the previous one was really worn as well. So in theory, we should be able to just whack this one out. Keyboard there. Keyboard. Keyboard. I know this is technically cheating because I should have figured it out properly, but I don't want to leave you guys with nothing. But who knows, the track point buttons might randomly work, and that'd be dope as well. But see how we get on. I think that's pretty much guaranteed not to work, but it's good content at the end of the day. Oh, Nose. Right, so donor keyboard procured. This is our last chance, so I'm not going to do the mod this time. I'm not going to mod the... It's not doing anything because I need to press from a keyboard that's not there. I guess that's why. Okay. Missing another one on the armrest. So special shout out to Genzo or Jennifer Joyce Art for donating this keyboard for my failings. She's a legend. So let's just put this back together. Ah, that's so infuriating. Right. Where else could one go? Just there. So yeah, if you're watching, say hi, tell me more. Oh, it looks like a load of people. Oh, there's already a screw there, that's why it's not working. Right, cool. Right. So, donor keyboard, unmodified. Let's see what result we get from that. Instant work. Yeah, that works straight away. I'm not going to test the track point buttons just yet, because I get the vibe they're probably not going to work. But means that we can go on with the next stage of the mod, which would be useful for the process of this video and the purposes of this video. Right. Can we click? No track point buttons. Oh no! Oh no, I tapped the trackpad by accident. Right. I need to turn it off to do the firmware upgrade. I need to line that up properly as well. There we go. Yeah, I mean, in theory, you could take the two screws from this keyboard and then replace them, but then that runs the risk of destroying a second keyboard, and I'm not willing to do that on stream, if you know what I mean. And I shall be buying a new one. Sincere offer though, if anyone's watching that wants to sell me a keyboard that works, that'd be great. Even if you're watching this stream later on and you know that that's the case, like, sign me up. I'll buy a working modified keyboard any day. What else we got? Now, so of the 4 that are watching, we have a vote. Do you want to know how to flash the firmware to the USB, or should I just? Because I already prepared it. Look, I've got a USB ready to roll with the firmware. So maybe I could do that after we've done the firmware flash. So you've got time to decide, basically. And I want to plug in. So you've got the 60-volt barrel jack adapter. And then looking here on this screen, we plug in. Oh no, that's not actually lined up properly. No! No, you bastard! Pardon my French. Right, screws done again. Oh, I can fix that later. It's fine. It'll work. Right, and then what you do, once you've got your firmware flashed, so for me, I've got the battery firmware part of the patch, as well as the keyboard patch. It's called the EC mod. Now, normally the battery mod is disabled, and the keyboard mod is the only thing enabled. Or you can do it the other way around as well, depending on what commands you put into the software. Time for some more menthol CBD tobacco. Glorious. Right. Looks like I'm doing something illegal. I'm not. It's completely legal. Completely legal in this country. Bought from a local shop. So, fire her up. Watching the top screen. Then we were clicking F12. If that doesn't work, Control Alt Delete. That will force down. Force power down. Come on. No, because that's going to make it sleep. You didn't hold the button for long enough. Okay, start again. Ooh, trap point wasn't working. And then, so what this firmware does is it remaps all the keys. So you see at the moment, F12, 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 F12. Oh, not again. Right, we're going to do a full power down. Press and hold until it goes completely dead. Fire her up. Nope. So yeah, we're on to the firmware stage of the process anyway. So that is good. If anyone has any questions or any input, please let me know. But basically what you need to do is access the boot menu, which is F12. Ah, for fudge. Just won't stop booting into Windows, will you? Try again. I'll hear a lovely beep if I get it at the right time. There we go. Right, finally. And then that's F12, so you can see the screen there, can't you? And we go down to the SanDisk Cruiser Force, which is this one. And then you boot this, you see it says PC DOS there. Press any key to continue. Let's just double check if there's anything else I need to know. And you can, I don't know if you can see that on screen, but we've got the battery validate patch, We've got the function key swap, we've got the dead key patch and the key SIM replacements patch. So you do that in the preparatory part of the USB. And then the BIOS is already the right version because it already had the firmware flashed for the battery. This is the moment of truth. Image flashing done, system will shut down and reboot in 5 seconds, so we wait for that. Wait for the reboot, don't press anything. There we go, don't turn anything off, flashing embedded controller. And we hope that it all went well. And we're booting into Windows, so that looks like a good sign. Now the way we'll know if this worked is if function and that, yeah, doesn't do that, but function and page up, which I've got key, you see it activates the think light, which means the keys are mapped correctly. Turn the brightness down, for example. All the keys are mapped correctly. Yes! So we still don't have the track point button issue sorted, so that is just something I'll have to live with. But for anyone that's been watching, do you want to see how to do the custom firmware on the... Do you want to see that process, or are you quite content? Because if everyone's happy that they've seen what they wanted to see, I'm gonna just get this keyboard aligned correctly and then chill, I think. I might crack a beer to celebrate. And then later on, so what did we do? It took an hour and a half to get it right. Now with the track point buttons, well, I can live without it. It's fine. Until I can afford to buy a pre-modded keyboard. Because that's the only way I'm going to be able to do it, because like, if you add the previous time, which I tried for 5 hours, and then that's why the screws threaded, because they've just been worn down through so many attempts to do this already. Awesome, man, I know the feeling. Yeah, for sure. And it's just like, I can live without track point buttons. It's like a centimetre further for my thumb to move. No middle, right, no track point scrolling, which is a little bit annoying, but on Linux it doesn't do what I want it to do anyway, so it's fine with GNU/Linux. And then I'm probably gonna flash Linux Mint to this as the next port of call. Now, I'm quite enjoying streaming now. I was expecting this to take several years of streaming to get this right, but we got the basic job done, so all that remains left to do is do an install of i3 Window Manager on Linux Mint on this SSD, which involves some partitioning, which I can do if anyone is asked with that. Right. That's the got broken keyboard here that just needs 2 new screws. I'll probably sell that for a tenner on eBay. People can harvest keys off it and stuff. You know, it's not a complete loss. Or I could just find out what the name of that particular screw type is, and then just crack on with it. So I'm just going to keep streaming and then show the delights. I don't know, maybe I should update the... Oh mate, thanks. Yeah, well you are chilling with a friend now, technically speaking. You come to my streams, we're all friends. We're all friends on this stream, my friend. Right, so we need... Right, what do do I need? I need power on the laptop for starters. Then we need to switch over to Capitulo card. There we go. It's funny you say very relaxing as well. It's like it's been far from relaxing for me. But I have enjoyed it, genuinely enjoyed it. I hate the track point on this. So what do we need to do? Disk management. And then it's not recognizing that on the capture card yet, so let me just... That's not... Ah, that's fine. Alright, let's just get that reconnected. There we go. There we go, sweet. So I just gonna do shrink volume. So we're in disk management, shrinking volume. And then 100 gig, I think we probably only need like 20-30 gig. What do I need? Probably actually more than that, because I want to put my music library on there. So let's say 50, just under 60 gig. Let's see if Windows allows us to shrink. Oh, I'm shrinking the wrong drive. That's not a good idea. I'm shrinking the one in the Ultra Bay, that's the problem. This is the one I need to shrink. Now I've got to wait while it unnecessarily shrinks my hard drive instead of my SSD, which is quite funny. What is this? Windows nonsense. What's this? I'm not watching, I'm not reading the music. F out of here. So that I just closed Parsec there, which is something I use a lot, and we'll be using on Linux as well. So the temptation to click the track point buttons is huge. I've just got all my software there. Right, if you close this, it'll probably fail it, and then we can access to shrink the correct list. Good music. Maybe if I restart, that'll not fuck it up. Too much in my face. Shrink this a bit as well. It's just rebooting. Time for some more CBD snuff, I think, to pass the time. Oh, I just threw all the last of it on my crotch. That was clever. There we go, me left now. Sniffing my own crotch, technically speaking. Lol. Right, let's go back to disk management. Hopefully that will have not destroyed my external hard drive. Yep, it's not done the thing either, so that's good. We want to shrink volume. No, querying for shrink space. So it's saying it can give us 160 gig. So we're going to go with 64 gig. About 66. I press the button instead of whatever. The other thing that's cool about this is like I did a typing test in the last video about this, and it was like 15 words a minute faster, just because of the raised keys, and like it does feel nice. It does feel very nice. Right, now what we got to do. You won't see some of this because I've not got it set to. I'm going to plug in this USB stick here. It's got Linux Mint 21 on it. And restart. You saw there that it came up flashed on the screen. Tempted to load of messages. No. I'm tempted to stream later as well. Let me just ask my buddy and then I can confirm. And I missed my chance. Oh god. Let's turn off. Right, now we want to restart. No, we want to fully shut down like we did earlier. Boom. Boom, 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 boom. That is not what is playing in the music, so I shall stop making that annoying sound. We're hammering F12 here. Let me do it. Force shutdown. Let's switch back to this. Force shutdown. Powering F12. What's that here? Come on. There we go. Entering boot menu, which you won't be able to see because I've turned this off and it doesn't show that anyway. No. Won't be a sec. F12, there we go. And down with the arrow keys to SanDisk Ultra. Start Linux Mint. And I'll shift it over to the capture card when it actually boots in. It should pick it up. Let's have a look. Yeah, there we go. Very cool. Snuff time again. Promise myself I won't buy any more of this snuff stuff when I've run out. I'm looking for display. And we want to make that 720p and mirror displays. Apply. Then you can see what I'm doing too. Yay! So we're going to eject this so it doesn't give us that as an option. Oh, that's just got a load of games in it from my ROM files. I'm glad I did not format that, that would have been bad. Right, install Linux Mint. I should probably update the name of the stream. Update titles. X230. X230. Installing Linux Mint and. Sorry, won't be a second, guys. Right, if you... Actually, I won't do that. I won't do that because that'll kick you all off the stream. So, no worries. Oh, I lost viewership as well, that sucks. Oh well. They were probably only here for the mod. Which is fair enough. Right, I'm just going to switch screens temporarily. So you can't see. What do we want? Yeah, because you won't be able to see my password. Sick. Come on, next page. Oh yeah, keep forgetting about the triphone burns. Multimedia codecs, yes. So although the keyboard mod is done, we now need to consider how it runs. Right, so just for my security and peace of mind, we're going to do that briefly when it's needed, alongside Windows 10. Yeah, that's fine. That's London. That's not correct. Right, this is the bit I set that up for. So yeah, I should be back. Just double checking no one can see yet. And then we can switch back to capture card. So yeah, basically the mod is done. In a nutshell, the mod is done. I think should I have a beer to celebrate? I feel like I should have a beer. Oh, in other news, I'll be back later. I'm gonna have a break in a bit. So I've done nearly 2 hours streaming, but I should be back about 11 PM. So for example, if it's now, well yeah, Greenwich Mean Time, 11 PM Greenwich Mean Time. So what would that be? If you're in America, loving this music. Just while this installs. Right, let me Google it on a different machine. Right, GMT to US converter, world time server. So Eastern Standard Time, we're 5 hours ahead of Eastern Standard Time. Oh, good man, yeah, beer o'clock, you reckon then? Alright. Here we go then. Let me get this as close to the mic as possible. RIP headphone users. Oh yeah. That. It's not the greatest beer, but I am a fan of it. No worries. On the farm, my brother or sister or non-binary person I'm basically done. I'm going to keep going for another 5 minutes, but I'll be back at, so like 5 hours ahead of 11 PM for anyone else that's interested. I'm just going to be streaming World of Warcraft and having a chuckle because I've got a sub again. So actually, why not? Let's finish up there. It's as good a time as any. So, thank you anyone that watched the video, the stream. I had a really good time. I achieved my goal. I still need to figure out the track point button situation. So, sincere offer, I will pay for someone who can do the mod for me correctly. Hit me up on Twitter at David46 or TechDave YouTube. I'm also on Facebook as /TechDave YouTube. I'm on Reddit as user /TechDave YouTube. I'm on TechDave Official on Twitch if you're watching me on YouTube, and I'm on channel /TechDave on YouTube if you're watching me on Twitch. So, you know what? I'm going to bow. It's been that much of a pleasure. I'm going to take a bow. But cover up my big hairy ass. Thank you, sincerely, ladies and gentlemen. Lovely, lovely stream. Thank you so much.